Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Under Review with Jared John. Each episode will analyze the impact the sports world has on society, such as gender equality, race, economy, history, and much more. So step up to the plate and come listen in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of Under Review with Jared John. Today I have a very special guest. He's one of my great friends, and we've been wanting to do an episode for a long time, and it's my fault I haven't been getting him on the show quick enough. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kyler Weir. Kyler, how you doing today, man?
We're doing all right. I'm in North Jersey. Stuff's going down, but we're keeping up.
I wanted to have you on the show not only because, you're one of my greatest friends, but because you've played a lot of sports and you've had your history with sports. And we always have backyard games and fun, when playing football and stuff like that. But at the same time, there comes a price with playing sports. Can you talk about like the injuries that you've dealt with over your years, either playing middle school or high school sports?
Yeah, so I played baseball and football pretty seriously ever since I was a kid. Travel teams for baseball, all-star teams for baseball, uh, playing in ages above me in football ever since I was in sixth grade, maybe. So I was playing against eighth graders and ninth graders and stuff. Um, Injuries happened a lot, but it was one of those things where, you're in, they called it midget football, which is like little league football. Once you're in little league football, there's no trainers.
Yeah,
The trainer is a kid's dad. A trainer is, if you're lucky, a team mom who, breaks an ice pack open and just kind of puts it on you. So in little league football and little league baseball, I was probably hurt a lot more than I knew, but I didn't have a trainer to sit me down and be like, hey, you have a strain in your hand, you have a strain in your leg, take it easy for a week. It's, oh, I want to play sports, I want to play football, I want to play baseball, so I'm going to keep doing that no matter what my body goes through. So yeah, we're going to high school, and I meet the trainer, and the trainer's very serious, and he tells everybody, if you're hurt, you're hurt. Come to me. Come see me. This isn't little league. This isn't middle school basketball or baseball or football. If you're hurt, you need to see me immediately. Which my high school is very good with that type of stuff. Other high schools may just be like, hey, you're a skill player. We need you for tomorrow. Just put ice on it. Don't see the trainer. Come back tomorrow. You'll be okay. With me personally, um, I have extreme tendonitis in my throwing arm. I threw sidearm and I was a catcher. You catch over 150 balls a game. You have to throw 150 balls a game,
yeah,
whether it's back to the pitcher, second, first, third. You know, I threw sidearm. I really messed my arm up. Got to high school, told the coach that. He said, okay, we're moving you to DH. So, yes, I was a bullpen catcher in high school, but I also DH'd. That was a very smart decision I think I made. I talked about it with my coach, and I told him, I could be a catcher. There's someone else better out there. There has to be someone else better out there. My arm can't take it. I was icing my arm in between innings, which is the worst thing to do. You don't see Major League Baseball players icing their arm between innings. They keep it warm. They put the sleeve over it. They're not working on their arm. High school, no one
yeah,
really cared. Took a bag of ice, put it on my arm. I was fine. Now, whenever I throw a ball for more than 10 minutes, the tendonitis starts to grow back, and it's like, should have either learned a different throwing technique or stopped catching a long time ago. With baseball, with football, you know, I was an offensive lineman. We use our hands every single play, and you see offensive linemen in like the pros, and you see their hands, they're all messed up, they're all gangled up, and that's from
yeah, for
hitting
sure.
face masks. And like this pinky doesn't go straight, but this one does. I can take this thumb, bend it all the way back, touch my wrist. It's from hitting every single play. I probably
Wow.
dislocated, sprained, whatever these fingers so much where they don't work correctly. You know, and
Yeah,
who's to say in 20 years I can hammer a nail with my kid? Obviously, I probably will be okay, but other kids who played D2, D1 football, who knows? I played football with a kid in high school, 6'4", very injury prone, tore his ACL right before the first game of the season of his senior year. He was so he was so determined to play that he got the most expensive knee brace he could find, fiberglass, taped the hell out of it. First play, leg goes bends wrong, he's out for the rest of the season. I know
Oh
the kid
my
now.
God.
He still walks with a limp. He walks with a limp. His can't bend his knee straight. And you ask him, "Do you regret it? Do you think maybe you shouldn't have played?" And he goes, "No, that's high school football. You know, you play hurt, you play injured." And I my first practice junior year, I was a big prospect. I was gonna get my first on the offensive line as a center, and we're doing this warm up where it's called four corners. You backpedal, and then you sidestep, and then you run forward. You catch a ball. I backpedaled, sidestepped, and was running forward to catch a ball. Coach throws it straight up in the air. I'm gonna get that ball. So I dove, caught the ball, landed straight on my shoulder, broke my clavicle, out for 6 months. Didn't even get to play a lick of football that year.
Oh my
And
God.
the whole
Yeah.
whole time that season, I was like, you know what? And it's high school. We weren't good. We all knew we were gonna we all knew we were gonna go 4-6 every
Yeah.
season. We all knew we were going 4-6. There's no reason to like, I'm gonna do it for coach. I'm doing it for my team. Yeah,
Yeah.
football's fun. You get to play with your friends and stuff. But like, you know, if I knew what I knew, I wouldn't have played my last year. My knees are all messed up. I had to wear braces the whole year. I didn't rehab correctly. You know, we saved money by not going to a rehab center because they said, "Oh, we'll just send you to school."
Yeah.
That trainer's dealing with 20, 30 kids a day, you know? Go over there and touch the wall and do this a few times. Go outside, watch practice. That wasn't rehab. That was okay. Let me see what I have to do, and then I'll go and watch football practice. It wasn't rehab, you know. I am scared that something's gonna happen with my clavicle. It's already raised up. There could be a pinched nerve. Right now I'm okay, but who's to say in 20 years? That's what my story is. It's a lot of I'm okay now.
Yeah.
What happens in 20 years when I have a kid? Can I bend down and play with my kid? Can I throw a football with my kid? Can I teach my daughter how to play softball?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? And I think you see athletes now noticing that. There's the Dallas Cowboy lineman. He called it quits. He's 29.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm done."
Yeah.
He made his bag and left. And I mean, like, why are more athletes not doing that? Because that's their only job. That's the only thing they know how to do. They know how to
Yeah.
perform.
Quick question. You mentioned that like in Little League and stuff like that, you don't really have a trainer. You're lucky enough to at least have a parent there, to break the ice pack. Do you think moving forward there should somehow be some form of trainer there to protect the kids?
Yes, I think it should definitely be a part of the league. I think I wouldn't want to have a child and put him in a football league and know that there's not a trained person there. In high school, we had kids who shadowed our trainer. They wanted to be a trainer too. So there were many different people out there going to different sporting events that could help. Why can't a league that has over 50 kids on a team, why can't there be a specific person to be, hey, I'll take my time out, I'll spend my Saturdays, and I'll be the trainer. It's going to help children. It's going to help. Let's say there's an all-star and that we want to prolong his athletic profession.
Yeah.
Be that person to step up and be like, I'll be this league's person.
Yeah. You also, so with all your injuries and they're difficult, would you would you tell your kids in the day of tomorrow, be like, hey, you can't play this sport, or would you allow them to, and why or why not?
You know, I know many professional athletes, their parents wouldn't let them play tackle football until high school. And I understand that decision. And, knowing the experiences that I have, I would definitely urge more parents to say, hey, your child isn't meant to be getting smashed in the head every weekend while in middle school. It's already a challenging time. They don't need to be getting tackled. They don't need to be getting laid out for a block. They don't need to make these crazy
like plays or stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't need to be giving up their middle school memories in life. And like, I had many concussions in high school. I was diagnosed with 3 concussions going on 4. I couldn't play college sports because of concussions. I can't edit videos for very long because of concussions. I hear loud noises and my ears ring because of concussions. I never had that issue. And then you leave high school and they say, "Hey, good luck with your 3 concussions. Who's gonna who's gonna help me with my concussions? There's nobody here."
Yeah.
They cared for me for 4 years, and then it's like, all right, see ya, have fun. We gave you 4 concussions, a broken clavicle, dislocated fingers, but hey, you got those 4 wins for us, man. You know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You mentioned the Dallas Cowboy, but also guys like Luke Kuechly, who only played 9 years.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, I was like, for people who don't know Luke Kuechly, he's a middle linebacker. He retired as a Carolina Panther. And I personally told my dad, I was like, Dad, I've only seen one better middle linebacker better than him, like personally in my day, and that was Ray Lewis. And I
Yeah.
was like, Dad, I was like, this kid is special, but he had so many concussions that he once got a concussion. He just broke down on the field. You talked about it as well. So what do you think? You mentioned, you don't know what's going to happen in 20 years. Do you feel like that's the case for a lot of people? And do you feel like, parents should think before telling their child, like, yeah, you should do this sport, maybe you shouldn't, think of 20 years ahead? Because a lot of people are also thinking about CTE. However, you can't prove CTE because you need to pass away first and then,
Yeah.
all that technical stuff. So do you think instead of, focusing on, oh, I just want to play now, more focus on I should play or think about 20 years in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a memory of going, "Hey, Dad, I want to play football. Sign me up." It's just something I had memories of doing, and then all of a sudden I'm doing it. There was
Yeah.
no conscious, "Hey, Dad, I'm a 5, 6-year-old child. I want to go play that sport." It was more of, "Okay, I have a son. He needs to make friends. Let's go where all the people are, and that is sports. He'll fall into it. He'll have friends." You know, I don't think necessarily it's the child's decision unless it's a middle school or high school, or you hear about all these high school phenoms who would play in the NFL and say, "Oh, I played my first snap my junior year of high school." That's a very rare case of people. That's somebody who is was born athletic, and that's what they do. That's all they have. I I I think parents need to really take it on their own chin to say, "I'm not going to allow my child to play a sport unless they 100% say, I want to play the sport." Then you start to weigh pros and cons. You can take the kid to the park to meet people. That's how you get friends. You can take them anywhere other places they make friends. Putting your child at risk, that seems like irresponsible. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
I don't dislike my father for making me play sports, but at the end of the day, I don't think I had a choice. I think it
Yeah.
was, you're playing sports, have fun, don't get hurt. You
But
know?
you can't walk into the game and be like, what, I'm not going to get hurt at, because it just happens. I mean,
Yeah,
we play backyard football all the time. We play
yeah,
basketball at the rec center
yeah,
at Montclair State. I twist my ankle, and I remember I sent you a picture, and it was the size of like a tennis ball.
yeah,
And it's literally, and then I twist my ankle really bad. I had to go to like therapy for it. And the doctor asked me, he was like, "Is this your first time with a sprained ankle?" And I was like, if I could tell you how many times I've had a sprained ankle, like it's been
yeah,
over 5 at minimum. And he said that the more sprained ankles you get or the more injuries you get, it's going to stay with you. And still to this day, my ankle hasn't felt great. But you spoke about football, and that's, I know, like you're really proud of, when you played football and stuff like that. So going on to another player, Rob Gronkowski, he retired right after the Super Bowl and after they won. And he said this quote, he just said, the game wasn't fun for me anymore. And
yeah.
I think, do you feel like when it was your time in high school, do you feel like that was like the same case?
Yeah, so I got introduced to Montclair State because of the football program, and they were recruiting me. And I was like, okay, like I don't think I could take much more, so I long snapped. and I was a very good long snapper. So the agreement I made was, Coach, I'll play. Just let me long snap. I don't want to do anything crazy. It felt like one of those things where I've been doing it for so long. I've never not done it. I have to keep on going. You
Yeah.
know. I join the team, whatever. I get another concussion. I'm out. I can't play anymore. They tell me you're not allowed to play anymore. You can't play.
Who
And that
told
was
you that?
I got a concussion in high school, so it was my trainer in high school.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
got a concussion in high school. My last concussion in high school, and it was like, you can't play. You have to tell everybody who you've been talking to in college, no matter how many colleges recruited you. You can't play any sports. We have to make it known. So with Rob Gronkowski, him saying it's not fun anymore, that's a very, very, very unique thing. You play, and all of a sudden you're not old. The game didn't pass you by.
Yeah.
You're not going through injuries, extreme injuries. You're not rebuilding every single game. You're not rebuilding your knee back up. He said it's not fun.
Yeah.
He didn't take his ball and run home because he wasn't winning or anything. He was one of the better tight ends. He was the best tight end statistically. He was done. Everybody's done. Now he's hosting WrestleMania this weekend.
Yeah.
He joined the WWE, and that fits him so perfectly. He is an entertainer. He
Yeah.
is a wrestler stuck inside a football player's body.
It's so true.
He's a ball of charisma, and everybody should be happy for him. I hate when a player like Luke Kuechly, he bows out, he's done, and everyone's like, oh, you should have kept going. Who are you to tell him that he's having fun still? That he
Yeah.
finds passion. If there's no passion in anything, then you shouldn't be doing it. You know?
Listen, I read something by Luke Kuechly that in his first 4 years in the NFL, he did not buy cable, and the only thing he watched at home was film. I mean, that just shows like the dedication that this man has. And in terms of Robert Gronkowski, you said it best. He's like a kid with so much energy, so much love. He's always smiling, always dancing on the football field. And for him to say that it wasn't fun anymore, it kind of put the fans like to take a step back and be like, wow, like, this game of football, even though they're, enforcing more penalties, and my dad is saying, and many other people are saying, oh, the league is soft now. The league isn't what it used to be. But then you look at players like Gronkowski, you look at players like Alex Smith, who's a quarterback for the Redskins, got a gruesome injury approximately 2 years ago, still hasn't played a game. So in the way sports has an effect on us. We look up to all these guys. Whenever we score a touchdown, we're doing stuff like Lamar Jackson is doing, or the Baltimore Ravens, and whatever shenanigans they're doing. However, it comes down to, our bodies and what it takes. Not everybody's gonna have, the amount of money that LeBron James has, and he spends $1.2 million on his body. But there are people like us, that can't, afford that bill, or can't do anything near that bill, because it's just like, and then we just get a pat like, okay, just keep playing. What do you think? Do you think the league, do you think there should be a regulation as to when a kid should play a certain sport or any sport? Or do you think it should, do you think it'll never change?
Trying to change one thing that a lot of people are participating in is always very hard. With the Alex Smith thing, he got hurt and he's not playing, and that's just kind of how the business is. You get overlooked. You're hurt, and then you're gone. You're going and you're moving to somewhere else, and you're third string, then you're fourth string, and then you're just getting a paycheck because someone kind of feels bad for you. And it's one of those things where I don't think a change is going to happen unless some crazy, crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
We've had people pass away who live 25 minutes from me. The quarterback was playing football, high school here in New Jersey, and he was playing with mono. When you're playing with mono, I forget what organ it is, but it swells up really bad. He
Yeah.
got hit from the side and it exploded and he died. Everyone from then on was like, "Oh, I should worry about my kid." Another accident didn't happen. It was, "Oh, I'll pull my kid if another thing happens. I'll pull my kid if nothing happens. Parents tend to think that they owe their kid the sport, or kids think that they're privileged enough to keep playing a sport. If a school really wanted to shut down all their sports, they can. With this stuff going around now, the school in my hometown, before everything else shut down, they shut down sports because they can. I'm not saying to shut down sports because I love sports. I watch it. I think about it. I live it. I breathe it all the time. But there has to be an age where like an age of consent. This kid wants to play football. He is going to play football. This girl wants to run track and field. She's going to play track and field. You know,
Yeah.
there has to be something from the athlete that they have to be like, okay. I made this decision. It's on me. I'm playing the sport. What good does it for a kid who is in fifth grade to go play his first year of tackle football just to be a lineman? What does he learn? He learns that the fast kid gets the ball and runs to the outside and gets the corner and runs up the sideline.
Yeah.
That's what the playbook is in little league football. What do
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
learn?
Yeah.
I learned that I'm just here and I block this guy and the fast kid gets to run the football in. Maybe if that same kid waits until eighth grade year and goes, I think I could be a good lineman. I have had the years to mold my brain into thinking I want to do this. You go into first and second grade classes and they ask these kids what they want to be, and most of them say athletes, which is great.
Yeah.
Be an athlete.
And I think that just shows right then and there, like from the jump, the kind of influence an athlete gives a kid. Either it's
Yeah,
LeBron, either it's Kobe, or any football player, either it's Brady or even a hockey player, Sidney Crosby. It just gives that motivation for the kid to be great. So I'll ask you one more question, and I hope I didn't forget. But the question is, with all your injuries, and you have major concerns as to why maybe you should never even do a backyard play football with us ever again. Why do you still play?
I play because it's something I've always done. Even in my room right now, I can count 3 or 4 like high school memorabilia things because I love football. I love that my family loved that I play football.
Yeah.
For a long time, that was a part of my personality. It was, oh, that's Kyler. He plays football. That was what I wanted everyone to think of me. I wanted to think everyone to look at me and say that guy definitely 100% plays football, and
Yeah.
that's what I was for a long time. I wanted people to look at me and say, I bet he's an athlete. I bet he's gonna be a D2 football player, and then he's just gonna go off into the sunset
Yeah.
with another 6-10 record. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes you gotta be that guy who straps up the helmet and hits somebody in the face. And then, when I have years later to look on it, I'm like, oh shit, like, am I gonna be messed up? Am I gonna
Yeah.
be? Do I have CTE? Obviously, it's hard to really get those tests now, but there are some underlying effects from it. Like I mentioned, I can't really go to concerts, mess with my ears too much. I I have to wear sunglasses outside all the time, or else I'm squinting.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing, Jared, is very good because you're getting what most high school athletes are right now. You're getting the 2 or 3 years after where I going to the gym every single day because I'm keeping my body ready for what, I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
playing a sport. Am I big for nothing? Probably. You see all these offensive linemen when they get out of the league, they drop all their weight. What are they big for? Who do they play for? What are they a part of? Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just big for nothing, you know?
Yeah. I think Marshawn Lynch, as unique of the language that he speaks. He said it best after, his team fell out of the playoffs. He was saying, he was like, I tell all these athletes, especially the young ones, to take care of their bread and to take care of their chicken. And what he means by that is you don't know when life is going to hit you. You don't know when it's going to stop in the day of tomorrow. So take care of all the earnings. But more importantly, I think he's trying to send a message like it's not always just about one sport. I think Shaq even tells his kids, you don't get none of my cheese unless you get 4 degrees. And he wants for them to be successful, because if sports doesn't end up their way, he wants for them to lean back on something. And I think that's something that a lot of parents should take notice of. Like, it's great that your student, or that your son or daughter is, an amazing athlete, but at the same time, when that career is over, what's next?
Yeah,
But
because like, I mean, like, you see professional wrestlers, they have a great run, and then they're champion by the age of 35, and then by 40, they're not on, even in the mid card. They're done. They're done wrestling. They keep wrestling on the independent scene all the way until 60. Like a
yeah,
normal human being, they work until they're 60 and retire at probably 70.
yeah,
So even in basketball, you make it, you're good. You have an average career span of 5 to 7 years. What happens after that? What happens if you spent all your money? Oh, you were a one and done in college. You got no education. What are you gonna do?
yeah. I like to end it off or start off the show with like a good
Hmm.
video. And the one that I saw today, SportsCenter, there's not really content to put out there. So SportsCenter is doing this like kind of pick me up thing, to pick up the fans and stuff like that. So one thing I saw, it's the last pitch of a high school state championship
And he
game,
consoles his friend.
and he consoles his friend
It
after
gives me
striking him out.
goosebumps every time.
So I think that just shows that, yeah, sports and winning is important, but the family and the friendships that you build are even more important.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
definitely build a family and friend, out of speech
Yeah.
class. And then, we started playing football, and, we started playing basketball, and it's been a great
Just
4 years.
just the
But
4 years went by too fast. Man, if
four
I
years of me 4 years of me cooking you, right?
if I knew what I knew now, man, I would have been walked straight up to you in speech class and be like, "All right, it's ball up. Let's go right now."
You and me, let's go
I'm
right
I'm getting
now.
I'm getting an easy win right now, and I won't
Oh
win.
my
I won't win for 3 years.
Oh my God, Kyler, yo, thank you so much for
No
doing this. I
problem,
really
man.
appreciate it.
No
That'll be
problem.
episode 3 of Under Review. Like I said, I don't know who I'll have next, but as you can see, Kyler was a great interviewee, and I really appreciate it. So I'll see you guys next time.